Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today I want to film my summer TBR video, and these books are in no particular order, and I'm going to try and keep this as brief as I can, but let's get into the video, shall we? Okay. Now these are in no particular order, but most of these books in here are pretty huge, and I might not get to all of them, but they're books that I wish to get to throughout the year, so let's get into the video, shall we? First up, I'm almost done with Ninth House. I plan to finish this tonight. I'm only 39 pages out, so I wanted to pull this up first because I wanted to tell you guys that I'm going to do a video review of it tomorrow, so look out for that one. And I don't really have to talk about this novel because I'll do a video review of it tomorrow, so yeah. First book up in my TBR pile here. That's a pretty big one, so yeah, that's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Next up. Next up, and I mentioned this in my future Stephen King novels to be read, and I'm currently reading it right now, and it's a huge one, and it's going to be my summer read, but I'm talking The Stand. Now, I already mentioned this in my previous videos, so if you want a brief synopsis of that, check out my other video, and I'll just say that it follows a super flu that wipes out 99.4% of the world, and that is book 1, which I'm almost done with. I have like 94 pages left, and I hope to get book 1 read by Sunday. But anyway, in book 2, you have The Forces of Good and Evil with Randall Flagg and a 108-year-old woman named Mother Abigail, and she is the good force. And so far, I really, really love this novel, and it is a massive one. So that's The Stand. Hopefully I will finish this by August and get to the next Stephen King book I have on this list. So let's move on. Next up is yet another book I'm in the middle of, and that is The Call of the Wild and White Fang by Jack London. I've already read Call of the Wild in February and preparing for the new movie with Harrison Ford. Saw the movie, and I really, really enjoyed the movie. But in White Fang, it's about these men who have sled dogs, and they are plagued by a ravenous wolf, and one of them have to befriend this wolf and have the wolf become part of the pack. And I'm hoping to finish this in the next couple weeks, but I did start White Fang, and so far I do like it. And by the way, this was like published in like 1903, I believe, so yeah, that's White Fang. Maybe I'll do a video review on this soon too. Look out for that one. But I have to read it first, of course, so yeah, moving on. The next Stephen King book I want to read after The Stand is Revival. Now, I did mention this in my video with the top 10 future Stephen King novels that I want to read, but this one sounds really, really good to me, and it follows an overpowered minister who controls electricity by music, and it's a pretty terrifying book if I'm not mistaken, so really don't know much about this, but I'm willing to give it a try. So, Revival. Next up, we have Stephen King's son's first novel, and that is Heart-Shaped Box. Now, I don't know much about this one, but I believe it's about like an aging rock star who requires this heart-shaped box, hence. But he discovers that this is a cursed box, and it tries to like grant him wishes. So this one sounds pretty horrifying too, and I heard it's a pretty scary novel, so this will be my first dive into Joe Hill. So, Heart-Shaped Box. And I hope to read this in between revivals. So, yep. Alright. The next book on this list is a recent thrift books order, and I'm like so happy to have it in my possession now. That is The Troop. And look at that cover. It is freaking awesome. But in this one, this is about a group of Boy Scouts who hike in the, I believe it's in Canada. Yeah, in the Canadian wilderness. But they meet some kind of sickly man who kind of has cabin fever-esque vibes, where it's like a flesh-eating disease, and one of them starts catching this man's disease, and by the end of the novel, all these boys succumb to the disease. And I heard that this has some pretty gruesome body horror in it, and cannot wait to get to this one. So that's The Troop by Nick Cutter. Next up we have not a really intimidating novel, but I bet it'll be a very fun summer read. It's got, it's reminiscent of It and Scooby-Doo, but I picked up Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. In this one, it's about 4 kids and their dog who reunite after 27 years, and they have to fight a Lovecraftian monster. And this one sounds really wacky, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a fun read. But I really don't know much about this, and there are some pretty cool looking illustrations in here, especially that one right there. But yeah, this is reminiscent of Scooby-Doo and It, and I definitely can't wait to find out what this one is about. And that cover is freaking amazing as well. So, Meddling Kids. Next up, and I'm like pretty terrified to like even pick up this monstrosity, but we probably have like one of the most depressing books that I've ever heard about on some other booktube channels, and they say that this might be like one of the best novels ever written. It's my stab at literary fiction, and it's a really huge one, but I'm going to try and get to a little life. It's a giant book, but oh yeah, by the way, the author's name is Hanya Kanagihara, however you say her name. But anyway, this one follows 4 college men who have like a rough life, and they try to conquer it day by day. I heard that this is a very depressing novel to get through. It's almost kind of like, I've heard quite a few booktubers compare it to like torture porn, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle this one, so I'll try my darndest to get to this. But if I don't get to a lot of these books, and it's a pretty massive pile right now, but I'll try and get to this by the end of the year. It's on my Goodreads TBR, so hopefully I'll get to this one as well. So, A Little Life. Next up, and we're almost done here, so I'm going to pull up all 3 of these, so they're by the same author, and I want to show them off, and here they are. Final Girls by Riley Sager, and this will be my next book to read after Ninth House, and I believe all 3 of these have something to do with like a summer camp. But yeah, this one sounds like an 80s horror movie, and sounds pretty good too. So that's Final Girls. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Now I know this one takes place in a summer camp, and the girl wants to uncover the mystery of the murder that happened there years ago. Oh yeah, and by the way, all 3 of these are Book of the Month editions, and I am a pretty avid subscriber on there, so yeah, that's The Last Time I Lied. Final book is Lock Every Door. Now in this one, I believe it has something about like a haunted house, and a nanny has to babysit the kids, and it's kind of like a murder mystery, and all 3 of these sound pretty good. I'll try and read them back to back to back, but as far as I see, I got a ton of books here, so yeah. Lock Every Door. Okay, we're down to the final 2, guys. And I got another honker here. It already feels heavy, but the next book I really hope to get to, and I do have it as an audiobook, but I also have a physical copy here, and that is Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. And this one, it's about a little kid who has an imaginary friend, and the imaginary friend wants to kill the town by Christmas, and yeah, that's pretty much all I know in this 705-page novel. So, yeah, this one sounds like a pretty good horror novel, and I can't wait to get to it. So that's Imaginary Friend, and I'm on to my last and final book in this pile of bricks. Let's get to it. The next book on here is not a pretty intimidating book, but I really hope to get to it as well, and that is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Now this is a debut author from, I believe it has something to do with a woman who shot her husband and now she won't speak, and she is in an institute, and they try to uncover the mystery behind his death. So, yeah, that's A Silent Patient. And that is my summer TBR, which TBR stands for to be read, of course. And that's all I have to say for this video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a book review on Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Stay awesome and keep reading.